Can the Celtics catch the Cavs by the All-Star break? Why is everyone complaining about three-pointers and shoe wars in the locker room? It's a mailbag right now on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Yup. Beantown, be ever ready. Recognize the city of champs. Back to back, if I say it, it's stamped. Locked on number 19, the best one, the next one. Juice loose in your pool now for the next run. It's the C's, who else could it be? What they gon' say now? Screaming like JT, Karalis, recap the madness. Every game, every practice. Best daily pod, no cap like Brad Beckett. Clutch like Drew to KP, tap in daily. Prime time, tapping D White on the sideline. Raining Jays, how it started, raising banners, how we finish. Locked on Celtics pod, home of the winners.
There, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day, and I got you covered every Monday through Friday. Though this week, it's Christmas week, scheduling adjustments. I am not recording a podcast on Christmas Eve to be released for Christmas morning. I will be spending Christmas Eve with my family, so we'll shift the podcast over. There will be a post-Christmas game podcast, a podcast Thursday, and then the Friday post-Pacers game podcast will be your fifth podcast of the week. You're getting 5 podcasts a week no matter what. So make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcast. Watch the show on YouTube. Get into the comment section there on the YouTube page. It's a great comment section, especially on YouTube, man. You don't hear about a lot of great comment sections, but Celtics fans on the Locked On Celtics YouTube page are pretty good. So good job by you guys being in there. Hey, if you're new to the show, I'm John Karalis. I've been covering the Boston Celtics for about 20 years. I'm doing it now as a beat writer for Boston Sports Journal. So I'm there in locker rooms talking to the guys after games and all that good stuff. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL playoffs are almost here, but it's not too late to get in on the regular season action with FanDuel, because right now new customers can finish the season strong with $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. We are opening up the mailbag. It's a nice Monday, mailbag Monday. So later on, the Jaylen and Jayson shoe wars. Well, we'll talk about that in a bit. An energy shifting question. The C's fire. Where is that? Where has that gone? Is it gone? But let's start with chasing the Cleveland Cavaliers. And Ben wants to know, do you expect the C's to surpass the Cavs by the All-Star break? Okay, well, let's see. The Christmas is coming up here. The All-Star break is in February 12th, so 13th, the All-Star break. So it was a month and a half to make up 2.5 games, 2 games in the loss column. So basically the Celtics have to be 3 games better than the Cavs. Where are the Cavs going to get their losses? They do have some road games coming up between now and then. They play Utah on Monday night. I'm not expecting that to be a loss. So, but after that, they go on a West Coast swing: Denver, Golden State, LA, Dallas, a Western Conference swing, I should say. So there might be a loss in there somewhere. The Cavs are 16-1 at home and 9-3 on the road. So obviously still very good, but not as good on the road. So there's potential in there. You know, Denver, Golden State, LA, Dallas, a couple teams that they should beat, but Denver's a tough place to play. Denver's good. Dallas is good. They don't have Luka's been out, but that's the potential is there for a loss or two. They have OKC coming in Wednesday, January 8th. That's a potential loss. They go to OKC before the All-Star break. They go to Minnesota. They go to Houston. Road games. What are the road games in there? They've got Detroit, Washington. So the key thing, I think, the reason why the Celtics have a good chance is that February 4th, the Cavs host the Boston Celtics. So that game alone is potential for a win and a Celtics making up a full game just with that win. Can the Celtics win 2 more games than the Cavs between now and then? Yeah, I guess it also depends on the Celtics schedule because Boston, the upcoming home stretch, Orlando is decimated. So I think they'll beat Orlando. Home games against Philly, Indy twice, in Toronto. Indy gives them problems. One of those could be a loss in there. Then the Celtics go on their Western Conference swing. Minnesota, Houston, OKC, Denver. OKC and Denver, tough games. So, the Celtics are going to have a tough time in January. And then later in January, this January schedule is going to be tough. They start January again, Minnesota, Houston back-to-back on the road, day off, OKC Sunday the 5th in the afternoon, day off, Tuesday at 10 p.m. local time, Eastern time, against Denver, at Denver. Couple days off, they come home for Sacramento and New Orleans, then a quick road game in Toronto, come back for Orlando, Atlanta back-to-back, then Golden State, Clippers, Lakers, and Dallas on the road. So 2 Western Conference trips in January. This is going to be a tough schedule there. This is where the Celtics are going to make up a lot of their travel that they didn't take at the beginning of the season, probably because of the whole Emirates Cup thing. Not the Emirates Cup, the Dubai trip. So while the Celtics can make up a game against Boston, against the Cavs, I'm going to get this straight one of these days. There are a couple of losses potentially in here. So I'm going to say overtake. I'm going to say probably be tied. So the question is, surpass the Cavs? No. But I'm going to say right now the Celtics go into the All-Star break tied for the top seed and that they win the game in Cleveland. So, which is a great, I think that's going to be exactly where the Celtics want to be. And then they'll finish after the All-Star break. They'll finish strong. Hanoi IG asks, one game does not a season make, but what is your take on the game right after the Bucks seem to be ascending, getting destroyed by the Cavs? Do we learn anything about either team or just one of 82? I'll tell you what I've learned is that first game after winning the NBA Cup, I'm betting against whoever wins that NBA Cup in their next game. And this might be part of why the Celtics didn't exactly go for it. I feel like you remember the Lakers last year went into a little bit of a funk, a little bit of a slide afterwards. It is tough mentally. First of all, you play an extra game that wasn't on your schedule. You are playing in the middle of the regular season here. Not even the middle. You're not even at the middle. It's December. And you're playing in these games that you're ramping up the intensity. You're trying to ramp up the pressure. You don't know who you're playing. Everything's different. The league is involved. I can't stress enough how not having your own PR apparatus around you, having to give in to the league's PR apparatus and very structured, regimented. You go here, you go there. This is your time. You're doing this. Everything's different. Different is bad for NBA teams. Different is like disruptive. So you do all of this stuff. You win this extra game, and all of a sudden you're given a hat, you're given a t-shirt, you're given a trophy. The commissioner is handing you a trophy. You're being interviewed on stage on ESPN. The whole vibe is very final. The whole vibe is, you did it. This is over. Time to celebrate. And you do. You're kind of forced to celebrate. You're forced to be like, here's your hat and t-shirt. You got to wear this for the TV. They build a stage. They hand you the trophy. They put champagne in the locker room. Go have fun, celebrate. We want this. The league says we want this to look like a big deal. So go make it a big deal. Side note, the Bucks raised the banner and people were clowning it on Twitter as usual. And I keep telling people, if the Celtics win this thing, they're going to be forced to put up a banner. It won't look like the rest of the championship banners, but it will go up somewhere in the building, in the rafters, not in a hallway, not somewhere in the, near the bathroom. It's going up into the rafters. Wrap your head around it. Get used to it. The league is going to make them do it. Stop clowning these other teams for doing it because you're going to be watching your team do it. It's going to happen if the Celtics win. Just get used to it. But that's what the NBA wants. They want you to get used to it. That's why they're doing all of this. So they put all of this celebratory stuff in front of this team, and like you come out of it, you've gone to Vegas, and now you got to take a trip back, and it's like, oh God, oh thank God that's over. And now it's like, oh, by the way, regular season just rolls on. Go ahead, go play the Cavs. Yeah, of course they lost. Of course they lost. I didn't put any money down on it, but that would have been, I think, this is 2 years in a row now where the winner has come out and hit some kind of like bad performance afterwards. So I don't think that is a coincidence. So chalk it up to just one of 83 for the Bucks. And the only thing I've learned is winning the cup in the middle of the season can be like a little detrimental to the winner. That's a tough mental turnaround for the team that just won. And what sucks is you just won a game that doesn't count in the standings, but you went and you lost the game that did. So anyway, why are people complaining so much about 3-point shots? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about energy shifting, all when we come back here on the Locked On Celtics podcast. Today's show is brought to you by Skylight, the Skylight frame. The Skylight frame is a very cool gift. If you're looking for a last-second gift and you can go, I know this is tough. I'm telling you to go to the website. If you are out and you see one, pick it up if you're looking for a cool last-minute gift. It's an all-in-one touchscreen digital picture frame that allows you to share your photos with your loved ones basically instantly from anywhere around the world. This is a great gift. It's a great stocking stuffer. If you're a last-minute shopper, go give it a shot, right? You give them the Skylight frame, you download the app, and you upload the photos. It's a quick and easy setup. Once you get it set up, you open up the app. The setup takes less than 60 seconds. You invite friends and family. They easily share photos via the free Skylight mobile app. You upload, tap, tap, tap on your phone, upload, and it shows up in the frame. People could be asleep. You can give them these new pictures. They wake up to new pictures, and they can swipe through photos because it's a touch screen. Photos are displayed in HD. You got 5 different frame styles: portrait, landscape. The 10-inch or the 15-inch are your options. It's better than social media. So give it a shot. Over 1 million happy customers, thousands of 5-star reviews. There are free 120-day returns. I have one. It is awesome. It's recommended by the Today Show, Forbes, New York Magazine, and more. There's a special limited time offer for Locked On Celtics listeners. You get $20 off your purchase of a Skylight frame when you go to skylightframe.com/NBA. That's SKYLIGHTFRAME.com. Skylightframe.com/NBA. $20 off your purchase now at skylightframe.com/NBA. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Check out our new free newsletter at LockedOnDaily.com. The Locked On Celtics newsletter gives you Celtics, league, and fantasy coverage, plus links to all the cool Celtics content around the interwebs. So go to LockedOnDaily.com. LockedOnDaily.com. Subscribe to the free newsletter. Get it directly to your inbox. It's free. Open it up, read through that stuff, and have a good time getting an email from the Locked On Celtics and me. Back to the mailbag here. And this is a thing that I've been kind of fighting recently. Spencer asks, why is there so much complaining by a large portion of NBA fans? Can't go a week without seeing some people complain about 3-pointers ruining the game. I don't get it at all. The game evolves over time, just like every other sport. Would bet in 10 to 20 years, something else changes the style of play in the NBA. Then people use ratings to back up the argument that threes are ruining the game. On the other hand, the The NBA made more money than ever last year. TV deal is locked in for 10 years, and there are likely millions of viewers around the world not included in US TV ratings. I wish people would just watch basketball. Complaining is not going to change anything. We'd still be playing 1940s basketball if the game never changed. I don't normally read long questions like this or comments, but Spencer is dead on. Yes, Spencer, I've been saying it on this podcast. I am tired of the complaints. 3-pointers are not ruining the NBA, but you get a politician like LeBron James out there who just latches on to the current wave of emotion and wants to get people behind him, wants to get people on his side so he can sell whatever he's selling, his sneakers and his Sprite and his whatever. Like, okay, I get it. It's not a bad business move. I don't begrudge him. I just read you an ad myself, and I'm trying to sell things. I want people to like me, and I want you to buy this stuff from me. So I get it. I get the marketing aspect of it. But geez, enough. 3-pointers are not ruining the game of basketball. The game of basketball, I think the game of basketball is fine. And I'm going to echo Joe Mazzulla, who's like, why are people complaining about scoring in the NBA? Why are people so upset that there's more scoring in the league? Scores are up. More points are going up on the board. People don't complain about more scoring in the NFL. People don't complain about more scoring in other sports. People don't watch soccer because there's not enough scoring. People don't watch hockey because there's not enough scoring. And the NBA has more scoring than it has for a while. I guess the early 50s and 60s with their crazy pace might be a little bit of an exception. But regardless, the scoring is up. And people are like, nah, don't want it. I think there's a vocal minority. I think that's what the big thing is. I think there are people who are like curmudgeonly, and look, I'm very much in the, hey, old man yells at cloud. I have a graphic here made up for whenever I want to be old man who yells at cloud. But this is it's gone overboard. It's gone overboard. There are a lot of reasons why ratings are down. First and foremost, these are television ratings. And I don't understand why we're taking it so seriously that the ratings on television are down in December. Okay, it's down. I get it. How many people are watching through regular TV now? The NBA needs to figure out how to get people into a more measurable space. Maybe one answer is simply eliminate blackout rules. I think we have evolved past the need for local blackouts. The whole concept of local blackouts was supposed to be, well, it's either we want you to go to the game, or the local broadcast is like, no, we've got the rights. So just put the local broadcast onto League Pass. If I've paid for League Pass, then in market, just run the local broadcast with the ads, with everything, with the commercials, with everything. Just make that. If that's the market that you're in, don't black it out. It's dumb to black it out. Give people access to your product. I bet you that gives the NBA a measurable boost. End local blackouts. Streaming has gotten so much more expensive. People are going to illegal streams. The NBA is perfect for social media. So it's a long season. 82 games is a long season. And people aren't going to invest. They're not going to be like me, psychopath, watching every night. Oh, there's a basketball game on. Let me put this on. Right? That's not what people are going to do. Most people are going to pick up. Most people don't even watch every Celtics game. Right? Like a Celtics fan isn't going to watch, not all the time. Celtics fans miss Celtics games. Right? If a game's not going, maybe there's something else that you're doing. Whatever. People miss games. They need to keep up somehow. Social media is perfect. You can follow me or any of the other beat writers and get like live in-game updates. Okay, here's the flow of the game. Or you can read what I wrote on Boston Sports Journal and get the flow of the game pretty well. And then there's Twitter, there's Instagram, there's TikTok, highlights all over the place. You can get basically the idea of, oh, well, here's Jayson Tatum. Oh, look at this dunk. Oh, look at that dunk. Oh, he dunked it again. Oh, he posterizes. Like, you can get everything you need on social media. The NBA, like, highlights take 8 seconds, right? Not even. You can get 8 seconds. You can get the dunk and a replay all in 8 seconds. So it's perfect for little clips, little shorts, little reels, TikToks. So ratings, there are a lot of reasons why ratings are down. If someone is trying to say the only reason why ratings are down is 3-pointers, then that person is just telling on himself or herself or trying to get a reaction. That's it. So I don't buy all of this. And one last thing, I'm going long in this segment, but one last thing. Count me out on Inside the NBA. I understand I'm in the rare minority where I am not entertained by that show. I am tired when I have it on. I'm tired of hearing about Shaq complain about Wembanyama. Hey man, you're 7.5 feet tall. You got to get inside. Can you just accept the fact that this game has changed? Oh man, you're so big. You got to get yourself down low. No. Okay, it's gone. That part of the game is gone, Shaq. Sorry. You guys got to stop with this. We got to get people on TV who actually enjoy the game and don't sit there and tell me that the game is bad or that the game is wrong, right? Victor Wembanyama is not a post player. So stop telling him to be a post player. When you're watching the game and you're breaking it down, tell me what's going on in the game. Make me love the game. I just had the NFL on while I was doing housework and Patriots game was on. And in the breaks, you're like, oh, here's this touchdown. Oh, look at this block. Yeah, I mean, he went in motion. This guy went this way and this guy did this. It was great play. Great. Everything is positive, upbeat. Everything's great. Everybody who's covering the NFL loves the NFL. But I watched Inside the NBA and Shaq doesn't like what he sees. Every big man is like soft to him because he's so sensitive about him being the best. Like, you're the best, Shaq. You're in the pantheon. You're there with Wilt. You're one of the greatest of all time. Stop being so sensitive and just enjoy the game and tell us what's going on instead of complaining about the game. That hurts. Your national TV broadcasts are either people on Inside the NBA complaining about the game or Kendrick Perkins on ESPN just hot taking like a madman, just going. One day he says one thing, the next day he says the opposite. Of course fans are like all over the place because their national broadcasts, the place that they go on ESPN and TNT, are all over the place. They're not promoting the game at all. They're just complaining. Why would casual fans enjoy what they're seeing if all they're hearing is Shaq and all of these guys complain or hot take their way through this? I'm so sick of it. The game is actually really good, and I'm an old school post player. The Celtics play beautiful basketball. That's it. Okay. Whew. That's going long. I'm going to get a note about this podcast. We're going to come back about the Celtics fire being lit, the energy shifting, and shoe wars in the locker room. We'll talk about all of that when I come back. Today's show is brought to you by Built Rewards. If you're a renter, listen up. I wish I had this because it's a total game changer. Thanks to Built, you can now earn points on rent payments. We love points. I love points. I used to pay so much rent. But just like groceries or travel, you can now earn points on your rent, and it comes with serious perks. It's free to join. Earn valuable Built points on your rent and everyday spending at no extra cost. Redeem those points towards flights, hotel stays, even future rent payments. With over 500 airlines and 700,000 hotels in their program, possibilities are endless. Access unique experiences that are exclusive to Built members. I love using points for travel. I wish I had Built because I could have turned my rent. I can't imagine the places I could have gone when I was paying rent in New York City if I had Built. So you're already paying rent. Why not make it work for you? Start earning points on rent you're already paying by going to joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNBA. That's joinbuilt, BILT. Joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNBA. Make sure you use our link so they know we sent you. Don't wait. Start claiming your rewards today. Today's show is also brought to you by FanDuel. NFL playoffs are almost here. It's not too late, though, to get into the regular season action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can finish the season strong with $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So if you've been holding out on joining FanDuel, they've upped the reward. So go place that first $5 bet. FanDuel has so many ways for you to pick up a W. You can bet on players, who's going to score a touchdown, how many points each team's going to score. It really keeps you invested in every game out there. You can not only bet on who will win the game, but all of these other props. And if you place that first $5 bet and it wins, $250 in bonus bets. Use the tools that they have so you can gamble responsibly and don't go overboard. Set your limits, set your budget. Visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your chance at $250 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Go check out Locked On NBA. Locked On NBA Game Night covers every game, every night, all week long, 7 days a week. So go check that out. I will be there on Friday, but the Celtics finally have a Thursday off. So I will be there watching the games on Thursday night for the Friday Locked On NBA Game Night. And, of course, Locked On NBA, the regular podcast in the middle of the day. More debate style. So two Locked On NBA podcasts for you. Let's get back to this mailbag. I will try to rapid fire. I always say rapid fire, and I just can't. I mean, I just keep talking. It's ridiculous. Ben says, before the season, it looked like the Celtics had a fire lit, but now it looks like they aren't even trying to get the #1 overall seed. Why? I think there's they have not displayed the same level of intensity that they did last year. I think the long off season, or I should say the short off season and the long season, there's definitely a little conservation of energy going on. I think that's true of like Drew Holiday. I think that's true of even Al Horford, who's been aggressive shooting wise, but guys are not, they're not pedal to the metal, right? They're not, there's another gear, right? They're in third gear right now. There's 2 more gears that they can find, but the Celtics are still 22-6 and what? One, I don't know. I just 22-6. They're just fine, right? It's the third best record in the league by half a game. They're I don't know, we say getting away with it. So I don't know that the fire has gone out. I just feel like they're biding their time, and it's as simple as that. I don't think it's an issue. I think they're just getting ready for this. January's coming around. I know it's the doldrums. January's typically the doldrums. Post All-Star break, I think they're going to be. You'll see a change for sure. Connor says Jaylen Brown's energy is about to shift. Tweet from January 2022 has been in my algorithm again, and negative energy has been abundant. Reading about the Patriots. As someone who's been in locker rooms himself, how are bad teams able to get themselves out of negative mindsets? And how are good teams able to maintain positive mindsets with all of the pressure around them? Well, let me just first say this. It's so funny, and I probably have said this a few times on the podcast already. It's so funny that people have just refused to remember the actual story about the energy is going to shift tweet. Jaylen said, we asked him about this. I was there. We asked him about the energy is going to shift tweet, and he said it was a horoscope thing. It was like an astrology thing. And it was about like whatever. Yeah, all I know about astrology, Mercury retrograde, whatever. That's all it was. He was talking about astrology, but people just refuse to like remember that actual thing that he said recently enough, 2 years ago, not that long ago. People want to be like, oh, wow, Jaylen said the energy was going to shift, and it did. He wasn't talking about basketball. He said it wasn't basketball related. All right, I guess at this point, maybe it's my fault. I'm gonna be the one that's looked at as like, whoa, why are you being such a old man yells at cloud? Okay, to the question. Teams get out of negative mindsets, or teams maintain positive mindsets because of the personalities who are involved. That's it. There are people in the locker room who are either able to compartmentalize and understand the moment. Don't let things linger. It's a personality type. A lot of it can be support from the coaching staff, from the front office. Pressure it's a man-made thing. Pressure is it's really not real. You're just playing basketball. And if you just understand, if we go out there and do what we're supposed to do, if you're a good team, like, let's just do what we do. If you're going through a slump, whatever, it's fine. Trust your work, just put in the work, trust it, and you'll be okay. Things change. Just understand the reality. Derek White is in a funk. It's going to happen. He's gone through funks before. He's going to break out of this one. He's going to shoot like 70% for January. And then it's going to be like, whoa, look at this. And then he's going to go into another funk somewhere. It's just ups and downs. It happens. And if you understand that these things happen, then you can just roll with it. And bad teams, how do you process this? I've always said that whenever I'm coaching a kid or something like that, coaching a team, it's really important to learn how to lose. It's one of the greatest lessons that sports will ever teach a young person, because you are going to lose playing sport. You are going to lose. How do you handle that? What do you do? What is your reaction? I think the reaction should simply be, why did I lose? Okay, I lost. Why did I lose? Is it my fault? What can I do better? What did I do wrong? What can I control? Was it bad luck? If it's bad luck, then you flush it. Sometimes you just have a night where you do everything right. It's like playing blackjack. You can make every right play, and the cards come out, and you're like, damn. You stay on a 16. The dealer is showing a 4. You stay, and the dealer goes 2, 10, 5. You go, damn. What are you going to do? It's happened to me plenty, right? You split aces, and you get 3 and 4. And you're like, oh, jeez. Wow. Okay. Sometimes you do the right thing, and you lose. What can you control? You take what you control and you do better. You try to push yourself, push your limits, figure those things out. If you can keep that mindset, and if you have a locker room full of people and coaching staff that can put you there, you're going to be okay. Understand that it takes time, and the losses are frustrating, but as long as you're putting in the work and you're getting better, right? If you lose by 20, and then the next game, you're like, okay, we lost by 15 because we rebounded better. Great. That's a positive. Keep going. That type of stuff. It's just all individuals and good support systems, and you can get through it. It's as simple as that. When you're a good team and there's pressure And there's expectations. You got to block that out and just say, look, all we can do is do our best. And understand, like Joe Mazzulla says about Boston, it's a compliment that people want more out of you. They think they can get more out of you, right? When my coach yelled at me and I was like pissed, and an assistant coach pulled me aside and I was like, why am I getting so much crap? He's like, because he thinks you can do more. And you might think you're doing your best, but he knows you can do more. So find more. And like, it's a compliment to be yelled at. It's a compliment, to be, when I talk about players like Jaylen or Jayson or whomever, and like, I get like upset about their performances, it's because I expect them to be better because I know that they can be better. I'm not going to crush Luke Cornett for not doing certain things. No disrespect to Luke Cornett, but I know there's a ceiling on what he can do. He knows there's a ceiling on what he can do. So it's all mentality. Keeping it in the locker room, Drew, we're going to wrap it up here. I'm not trying to create the same old narrative because we know the Jays are united. We want and need them to be. However, the growth of 741 and JB recruiting some teammates to wear his shoes and maybe staff, does that conflict with JT's Tatum threes, which I've seen some staff and players wear? Could this impact any of the locker room and the organization? It feels like a possible conflict of interest. Also, subplot JB and that brand are in beef. I don't think there's anything to it. I think it's like separate, right? Like Jayson is doing his thing. Jaylen's doing his thing. Neither of them is criticizing the other. Like Jaylen has been very clear about it. He's like, guys can do what they want, right? I have my thing and guys want to sign with these other teams. They can't. Obviously they can do that. That's fine. Like Jaylen's not going to be counting Jayson's money and Jayson's not going to be counting Jaylen's money. They do what they can and what they want with their money. And if guys on the team want to wear a set of Tatum, I don't think anybody on the team wears Tatums, but a few coaches do. They've been given out. They've been gifted. If Pritchard wants to wear a pair of 741s, if Jordan Walsh wants to wear a pair of 741s, that's great. I don't think Jayson looks at Peyton Pritchard and goes, oh man, he's not wearing he's wearing JB shoes. No, that doesn't happen at all. I think that's separate. Basketball is basketball. And yes, what shoes you wear on the basketball court sort of counts, but no, I don't think there's anything here. I don't think there's any competition. If there is any competition, I think it would be a good-natured one. But there's no like negative competition. There's no conflict of interest. If Pritchard likes to wear certain shoes, then look, they're his feet, right? Different guys have different feet and different needs, and a guard isn't going to want to wear what Al Horford wears or Luke Cornett wears, and vice versa. So everybody's entitled to wear. Like Tatum was never upset at Jaylen when he was wearing Adidas. He's not upset at KP when he was wearing Adidas. Like these guys wear their own brands. So it's business is business and basketball is basketball, and they are kept very, very separate, and that's how it should be. So literally nothing there to worry about. All right. Well, I appreciate all of the questions. Thank you so much. That's normally the podcast is about 30 minutes, 35, a little bit longer today, but that's okay. Hopefully it was entertaining. So again, if you're still here and you are curious, no podcast. I will not be recording a podcast on Christmas Eve, Tuesday. So when you wake up Wednesday, there is no podcast. Wednesday, Christmas, there will be a post-game podcast, and then you will get 3 podcasts after that. So make sure that you're still going to get 5 podcasts this week. Normally it's a Monday through Friday podcast with a bonus podcast, but because of the holiday, a little bit of shift in the schedule. So make sure you're subscribed, watch the show on YouTube, get into that comment section. Let me know what you're thinking in the comment section, and share the podcast. Tell everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.